Well, good morning and welcome to the Grow Omaha show. Jeff Beals here at your service. We're brought to you by Dingman's Collision Center and B&M Roofing and Siding. This is the only show in the entire metro area devoted to business expansion, real estate growth, construction, all sorts of fun and exciting things. And today we are live on location at the brand new Yeti store at Nebraska Crossing. And without any further ado, I'm going to bring on my co-host, Trenton Magid.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Jeff. This is amazing.
Beautiful store, and I mean it's right across from the REI Co-op store here in Nebraska Crossing. We're going to have a very unique show today, a lot of content, fast-paced, but of course we first want to bring on the owner-developer of Nebraska Crossing, Rod Yates, along with his partner in crime, Johanna Boston, who has got her headphone up to her ear very interestingly. Rod and Johanna, good morning.
Good morning, guys.
Good morning, guys. Thanks for coming back out.
Well, thanks for having us. And we're going to talk about this new Yeti store in a moment, and we're going to do something different. We're going to delay our development news of the week. And instead, Rod, and Johanna, we're going to bring on a couple of special guests. Why don't you let us know who's joining us?
Yeah, well, joining us today, we're really blessed to have Governor Pillen on the phone with us today. And we also have the Super Bowl champion and former NFL QB for the Saints, Mr. Drew Brees. So we're really happy to have them here today.
Well, good morning, Drew, and good morning, Governor.
Good morning. Good morning. Everybody's doing great.
Good. Well, Governor Pillen, we're going to be talking with you a little more in the second segment when we talk about some plans that could enable growth here in the state of Nebraska. But before we do that, we want to talk a little bit with Drew about a few exciting things. First of all, Drew, it's good to have you on the show, and exciting to have you as part of Grow Omaha.
Yeah, great to be on. Thanks for having me. I really enjoyed my time out there. I was back there in November at the Mentors Foundation event and fundraiser with Coach Osborne and so many members of the community there in Omaha. I really enjoyed my time out there. Thank you.
Yeah, we were really happy to meet Drew. We do a lot of work, Rod and I, with Coach Osborne and the Teammates organization, and we were so fortunate to be able to have Drew come out and be the guest speaker, just knowing his background on mentoring and how successful he's been, and obviously what he does philanthropically was really important. And then we got to know him really quickly about, just how he works as an investor and all of the things that he's involved in, especially with fintech. And so it was a really great segue into a relationship.
Rod, why don't you and Drew talk to us a little bit about the business arrangement that you guys have going on?
Yeah, I follow Drew's career both on the field and off the field, and Drew has a great background in investing. He's done a lot in retail, done a lot in real estate, and when we got to know Drew, we thought, boy, it'd be great to have him partner up on everything we're doing in Nebraska with Nebraska Crossing and Just Data, and Drew's going to be part of everything we're working on here. He's going to help us grow Nebraska in the fintech platform that we're doing with college athletics and the shopping center industry. So it was an honor to have Drew come be part of it, and we're happy to have him in Nebraska.
So how will the business relationship work? What are some of the things that Drew is going to be doing with you?
Well, we're really happy to say that he's going to take the lead and be a celebrity sponsor and endorser of the Fast Cash app that we'll be launching in a couple of weeks. But we have lots of relationships planned with hopefully walk-ons and, his walk-on bistro and lots of things that are in the works. Rod, do you want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, Drew owns, Jeff, he's part of a restaurant concept called Walk-On Sports Bistro. And Drew has about 80 of those scaled across the country. And we'd love to have Drew talk about walk-ons real quick, Jeff.
Yeah. At the end of the day, I love to see communities grow and thrive. And whether that's from a business perspective, a philanthropic perspective, at the end of the day, I think the approach that I've always taken with the communities that I'm involved is to address the greatest needs of the community and engage in economic development opportunities, job creation opportunities that will see the community grow and thrive and come together. And so this was such a natural fit with Rod and Johanna and the Just Data team to, especially with everything that's going on in that corridor between Lincoln and Omaha and and certainly with the support of the community, with the support of Governor Pillen and so many other people, it's amazing to see what's going to happen in that corridor, and to be a part of that, growth is great. I've had the opportunity to be involved in a really few unique franchise concepts. One of them is Walk-On's Sports Bistro. It's a restaurant concept that started down in Louisiana. I became really close friends with the founder of Walk-On's early in my career there in New Orleans. And this is back when they only had 3 corporate stores, but felt like the goal and the vision was to expand that brand throughout the Southeast first and then to the rest of the country. And so we started franchising that back in 2015, and here we are 80 units later, and it's been a huge success. It's one of those restaurants that I think it's first and foremost it's all about the culture, it's all about the vibe and the energy that we can create inside those 4 walls. But it's about how closely we can connect with our community as well. You find that a lot of our walk-ons are in college towns or in neighborhoods where you just feel like this is the gathering place for the community, and certainly that fits with what Rod has created with Nebraska Crossings and all the future development that will take place in that corridor, and we'd love to be a part of it.
Drew, this is Trenton Magina. As a graduate of Tulane University, along with my 2 brothers, and I have been to the walk-ons down at Grandscape in Dallas. I want to thank you for everything you've done for the state of Louisiana and New Orleans. So, le bon temps roulé.
That's right. Yeah, it's a different culture down there, but it gets in your blood pretty quick.
It's a different country.
So we want to talk a little bit before we let Drew go about the college sports component of Just Data. A lot of regular listeners know that Nebraska and Crossing and Just Data are sister companies, essentially. And a lot of people who know about Just Data think about the Fast Cash app that we have here at Nebraska Crossing. But maybe, especially given Drew's presence here as a former NFL quarterback and quarterback at Purdue, can we talk a little bit about how Just Data is getting into big-time sports?
Yeah, I'll start, and I'll turn it over to Drew's perspective. But what we've seen, college athletics has not had a new revenue model for 50 years. And if you look at everything going on with NIL and what it takes to run a program today, it's very, very costly, very expensive. So I'm sure at Purdue University, Drew's constantly asked to donate and contribute to the athletic department. So what we wanted to do with Just Data and college athletics, and I think we're approaching now 30 universities that want us to remake their athletic department into a fintech ecosystem, is create a whole new revenue model, help them be more valuable for sponsors that are into the ecosystem at a university, and really just make it more valuable, more profitable. And I think it's long overdue for a new way to run an athletic department. And that's why we thought Drew would be perfect, given his background. I know he's obviously well connected with Purdue, still coaching Purdue in a bowl game this year or last year. And I think Drew, would love to hear your thoughts on the problems and challenges college athletics have, and your perspective would be greatly appreciated.
Yeah, Rod, you hit it on the head, though. It's a very interesting time. I think it's a very challenging time for colleges, especially with NIL. And I think at the end of the day, what this creating this fintech ecosystem within these college programs, what it does is it builds the connection between the university, the athletic program, businesses, sponsors, both locally and nationally, your alumni base, and your athletes. And so whereas prior to this, I think it has been somewhat disconnected at times, and it's been a very challenging environment for the universities and the athletic department specifically, this is a way to bring everyone together, and everything that you do within the ecosystem supports each other. And I think that's what's so intriguing about it and why it will be such a successful model.
I can quit now and you can take over. I love it, Drew. That's absolutely, everything that we talk about when we talk about the challenges that we've had just being a sponsor of the Husker Athletic Department. And, we love to support the community, but what can we do that really moves the needle and makes a difference?
Hey, Johanna, besides the Huskers and Purdue, who else is engaged us to recreate their program?
Oh, my gosh. Notre Dame, USC, Georgia Bulldogs, Texas, Tennessee, Clemson. UW, you name it. I mean, we have had the top 30 schools with the biggest fan bases, most engaged fan bases, really just chomping at the bit to be within this ecosystem.
Well, Drew Brees, we want to thank you for joining us, and we're excited to work with you at Grow Omaha as we get to know you through Rod and Johanna, and I'm glad you're a part of the team out here.
Thank you. Excited to get out there soon.
Thanks so much, Drew.
All right. Bye,
All right. That was, ladies and gentlemen, that was Drew Brees, the Super Bowl winning former quarterback of the New Orleans Saints and now prolific investor and, most importantly, partner here at Nebraska Crossing and sister company Just Data. So we're going to take our first break of the hour. When we come back, we're going to bring on Governor Jim Pillen and Mike Evans, mayor of Gretna. We're going to talk about a few things with the news, but one of the big stories we're going to bring up is LB 692, which is known as the Good Life Transformational Projects Act. A lot to talk about with Rod and Johanna, Mayor Evans, and Governor Pillen. You're listening to Jeff Beals and Trenton Magid on Grow Omaha, brought to you by Dingman's Collision Center and D&M Roofing and Siding. Back in a moment from the Yeti store at Nebraska Crossing on News Radio 1110 KFAB. And welcome back to the show. Jeff Beals and Trenton Magid at your service, live on location at the brand new Yeti store at Nebraska Crossing. It's right on the east end, so it's just catty corner to the brand new REI Co-op store. Get out here today and check this place out. You know, everyone knows Yeti for coolers, but I'm looking around the store and I'm seeing a lot of varied merchandise. It's fun, beautiful store. We'll talk more about it in a moment. But we are joined here with Governor Jim Pillen. We have Mike Evans, the mayor of Gretna. We have Rod Yates and Johanna Boston from Nebraska Crossing. And we do want to go into our news of the week, which is brought to you by Eagle Mortgage Company. You can find out more about them by going to their website, eaglemortgagecompany.com, or you can stop in the office. But it doesn't matter whether you're doing FHA, VA, or a conventional loan. They'll take care of you. That's eaglemortgagecompany.com. Got a couple of news items for you today. First of all, the planning board has approved a project called, I don't know what the name is, but it's being done by Uptown Properties, and it's going to be located at 31st and Marcy Streets. This is going to be a classic urban infill project, 2 5-level buildings, 188 apartments on 1.54 acres. And it's just on the edge of the new streetcar system, so it'll be able to take advantage of the transit-oriented development.
Good density.
Nice density infill. Also, Creighton University is requesting $60 million from the state of Nebraska. They testified before the Unicameral's Appropriations Committee this week to help the university finish a trio of projects, including a new baseball field for the team, as well as College World Series practice, the $90 million C.L. Werner Center for Health Sciences, and upgrading streets and landscaping on campus. And then, Trenton, this is kind of encouraging for the future of Omaha. Joe Finley, who does our residential column in the Grow Omaha newsletter each week, tells us for the first time in quite a while, Omaha metro area is in the top 40 large metro areas in the country for rapid housing price increases. A 9.9% growth rate last year.
Wow, that's high. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, actually.
It's a good thing if you own the home. It's maybe a bad thing if you're trying to buy them, but it's a sign that people are moving here. Also a sign that we might have a housing shortage. But it grew faster than the home prices in Kansas City, St. Louis, Denver, and Minneapolis. All right, so the other news item we have today is LB 692. And this is known as the Good Life Transformational Projects Act, introduced by Senator Luann Linehan. It's easier for some people to say than me. And so, but we have 4 people here, and I'm going to have Governor Pillen and Mayor Evans can kind of talk about it from the perspective of elected officials, and then Rod and Johanna can talk about it from the perspective of developers, both that would do a project here, and then also Rod's experience down in Kansas. So, who wants to start with this? What's the best place to do? Okay, should we go? Governor Pillen, why don't we have you start with your thoughts on this, if you wouldn't mind?
Yeah,
Yeah, I'd be happy to. I think that one of the most important responsibilities as your governor is that we have state policy in a position so that we can compete and so that we can grow not only Omaha but grow Nebraska. Incredibly important, and we're at a time unlike in the history of our state where we have some tremendous opportunities. At this stage of the game, my singular focus has been making sure that we all understand where we're at as a state and our incredible need to develop a tax policy that's transformative so we can compete with our neighbors, where we can have transformative property tax change, because in the state of Nebraska, you don't even have to own property to be adversely affected by how far out of whack our property taxes are. And then, of course, our income tax is, we have a couple neighbors that have zero. Our neighbor to the east has got a plan in place to be down to 3.99 by 2026. And so we've got a lot on the table for this session. It's really important that we get our income tax down to 3.99. I've made a mistake because we all agree that we want to beat Iowa, and we need to amend that to get it to 3.98. We don't want to tie Iowa, I might add. And the other piece would be, I don't know how it happened. Not passing judgment way back, but it's when we Nebraskans talk about taxing our senior citizens' Social Security checks with income tax, just absolutely makes us pull our hair out. And so our proposals to end that next year. So those are a singular focus there. Fundamentally, when we talk about LB 692, Rod and Johanna know it. I'm a person that fundamentally wants government out of our hair and wants business to have a free lane to really, really run and compete. I think that, certainly I think where the state needs to step up and be a part of is so we can compete with our surrounding states. So, I just commend what's taken place, what Rod and Johanna, what Nebraska Crossing has done in the last 11 years, growing from nothing to doing over $1 billion. And congratulations, by the way, on the new Yeti store being opened. You hear it every day, but I'll just add to it. Suzanne is wondering, when is the Nordstrom store coming? So that's a big deal. But I think it's important that we compete with our neighbors. And so I think when we look at LB 692, what we need to understand is what do we have to do to be in the game? Because when you're in a location that's exactly halfway from downtown Lincoln, halfway from downtown Omaha, and have a business that's drawing people from Kansas and Iowa and South Dakota, drawing our neighbors' destination. Those are just great revenue streams for the state, and it's important to be able to be a part of helping grow that.
So let's talk a little bit about what LB 692 would do. It's designed to incentivize projects that are greater than $500 million. But what does that mean? And Mayor Evans, maybe we'll have you take a stab at it about what this project would do, how it would work, and what impact it would have on a place like Gretna.
Right. Well, thanks so much. And I really appreciate Senator Linehan bringing this forward. It's so important. And as Governor Pillen said, it is transformative. And it's also important to compete. And the reason it's important to compete, for one, is these destinations really change our opportunities. It diversifies our property tax. I mean, we have all of our eggs in one basket, and that's why our property taxes are so high. Let's wean off that property tax a little bit and grow our sales tax some, and especially when the dollars are coming from out of state. Like here, there's 30% of tourism. And so if we can pull in money from out of state and help them pay our property tax, all the better. And, as far as this location, it's a fantastic location. If you're going to the west, this is a gateway to our capital city in western Nebraska and all the great things it has. And then to the east, we're the front door to the metro area. So it's a perfect place to make an impact statement to say, we're Nebraska, we're a great place to live. Let's keep our residents here and say having them drive to Des Moines and Kansas City and Denver. Let's keep them in the state, have them come to Gretna and just enjoy all the destinations you're enjoying other places.
So let's talk to Rod and Johanna about let's say this bill passes, and you guys are able to be one of the mega projects that could take advantage of 692 and change the face of Nebraska. What are some things that you guys have planned or you envision here?
Yeah. First of all, Jeff, we should note that there's typically every year 900 bills that are submitted for consideration for a transformational project or something that people want to see happen in Nebraska, and I think roughly 40 of those pass. So any of these bills that come through here, they're a long shot, so it takes a lot of effort. And I'll tell you, if you've never been to the legislative process like we did on Wednesday down at the Capitol, I mean, it's fascinating seeing these senators work together and Linehan and the Revenue Committee. It's really, really a cool experience. So I want to acknowledge that how much great that was to be part of that. But what I see for 692, it kind of falls in, for me, part of my history. In 2000, I did the Legends Project down in Kansas City. Didn't do it by myself. We had a bunch of great partners doing it. But what we were able to do is create something called Star Bonds, which I think for the most part has been a successful legislation for Kansas. But we took 1,600 acres of farmland that was in a blighted community, Kansas City, Kansas, and we ended up creating over 3 million square feet of commercial space, a bunch of entertainment venues, and now it does over $2 billion in retail sales and draws traffic, 15 million people from a 13-state region. So that's a great template for Nebraska. That's what we see happening. Do a lot of new-to-market retail, do a lot of entertainment venues, and I think as we talked to Governor Pillen, as he became the Governor Johanna and I did, the things that we wanted to contribute to the economy with Mayor Evans is we wanted to be really good at tourism, we wanted to be really good with retail, and we wanted to do our part to complement what's happening in youth sports. Youth sports is a $25 billion industry. Nebraska traditionally has not gotten their fair share of that. So what we want to do as part of our kind of vision of LB 692 is really support that, work with all the other facilities in the MSA, and really change the face of that and make that a big part of Nebraska's culture and industry.
Mayor Evans, there's so much around here, the different parks and experience stuff. Talk a little bit about what would be complemented and what would get an uplift by having such a transformative project coming through here.
Right. Well, as our community continues to grow, we're kind of right-sizing everything to our community. So it, like our large park, we open in September. We're excited about that. But some of this is just to right-size all the growth. So we need these type of amenities. We have a lot of young families that come out here. And to be honest, the younger generation has different expectations than we do. And so they want these type of experiential places to go visit, to be close to their house. So this fits our community perfectly because it's kind of the profile of who's living here.
Okay, so possibly a big mega project coming to Gretna as a result of 692. It's got to get through the legislature. When we come back, we're going to talk a little bit about what some of the things could be here if we have a mega project here by Nebraska Crossing. And then we're also going to have Johanna tell us about this beautiful Yeti store. We are live inside the brand new Yeti store. This is the first Yeti store in Nebraska. It's only the 14th Yeti store anywhere in the world, and it opened this week, a big grand opening celebration this week. Get out to Nebraska Crossing. It's just catty corner from the also very new REI Co-op store. So we're going to take our middle of the show break. When we come back, a lot more information to give you. In fact, you might want to have a piece of paper and a pen. We're going to share so much with you when we come back. You're listening to Jeff Beals and Trenton Magid, along with Governor Jim Pillen, Mayor Mike Evans, and then from Nebraska Crossing, Johanna Boston and Rod Yates. Back in a moment on News Radio 1110 KFAB. And welcome back to the show. Jeff Beals and Trenton Magid at your service. We're brought to you by D&M Roofing and Siding and Dingman's Collision Center. It's a little bit icy out there this morning, and if you have a little bit of a slip up, don't worry. Dingman's has got you covered with 4 metro area locations. They'll take good care of you. Hey, we are live,
and Darcy Dingman's in the house too. So
she's right over there.
Yeah, she'll give you estimate on your car if you bring it up. No, just kidding.
But no, we are live at the brand new Yeti store. This is at Nebraska Crossing, Interstate 80, Highway 31 exit. The store is beautiful. We're going to talk a little bit about what's in this store, but it opens here in a few minutes, so you're going to want to get out here and shop at the Yeti store. We have Governor Jim Pillen's with us for just another minute or two. He's got another obligation, but Governor, we wanted to give you a chance to make a last comment or two, if you're willing.
Yeah, well, I just wanted to say congratulations. I wanted to echo what Rod said about the process at the Capitol. Nebraskans just don't realize how hard our elected officials, all 49 senators in the unicameral, work tirelessly to advance and make Nebraska better. We are Nebraska. It's an extraordinary process, and I also, it's really, really important that we as a state of Nebraska come together to find solutions so we can compete, so that we can grow Nebraska. And what's all going on, Mayor Evans, congratulations to all your leadership. What's going on in the corridor, the Omaha-Lincoln corridor, is breathtaking. And we want to help turbocharge it. We want to make sure that we can bring people together that find a way to support the development and have innovative solutions that doesn't pick winners and losers, but picks all winners, that it's win-win for everybody. And I'm confident that can happen. It's essential for growing Nebraska, and I just commend everybody. And Rod and Johanna, congratulations on another new store and all that's taken place there. It's really exciting. It's a great day to be in Nebraska, and appreciate the chance to share a couple thoughts.
Thank you, Governor. We have a big cooler over here for some bacon.
You know, it's awesome. Yetis can really extend the shelf life of bacon, and I hope everybody had their 5 pieces of bacon for breakfast this morning. You guys have a great day.
Thanks.
Thanks, Governor.
Thanks, Governor. Governor Jim Pillen joining us. Rod, you wanted to say something else about 692?
Yeah, again, the whole process is just fascinating. Just as Governor Pillen just said, great leadership, tireless work. 900 bills these folks review as 49 senators, and you can't thank them enough. It's just really cool. But one of the things, our vision in working with potentially a 692 bill, if it happens, is our view is using fintech to make it uber successful. And what we've been able to do at Nebraska Crossing is create this cashback ecosystem. So you earn cash back at all our stores. You come back into the center. We make you sticky to Nebraska Crossing. So our vision, if we expand the district with LB 692, is we get everybody who builds in the district to give cash back to the tourists, the Nebraska consumers. So we reward them for being in the state, in our development. But I think that's really important, that as we grow and make this bigger potentially, that we want to make sure that our customers are sticky to Gretna, sticky to this development, and do a lot of unique things to make them feel special for shopping in our district.
Rod, there was a Nebraska Examiner article this week about the possibility of 692, and a lot was mentioned about Nebraska Crossing. And there was one particular brand that jumped out at a lot of people. It's IKEA.
Yeah.
So if we do something like this out here, you're talking to retailers literally like IKEA.
Yeah, without LB 692, we have a zero chance of that happening. But that would be a target brand for us. Governor Pillen mentioned Nordstrom through his wife, Suzanne. That's a target brand, of course. But you really need some unique incentives if you're going to draw these new-to-market brands. That's what everybody's doing. Texas does it. Kansas does it. All across the country, states have unique incentives to bring different types of industry and businesses into their community.
Rod, give us the idea of the scope you're talking about.
Yeah, I think if this all comes together, I feel like we would have demand for maybe 2-3 million square feet of more retail, more entertainment that could come be part of the intersection of I-80 and Highway 31. It's huge. It's massive. It's a huge opportunity for the community, the state, and the tourism in the Midwest.
Well, Johanna, let's talk a little bit about, speaking of a national brand that's new to Nebraska, Yeti, only the 14th store in the world. Tell us a little bit about Yeti and this gorgeous store in which we're broadcasting live right now.
Yeah, you mentioned the 14th store. I mean, we're really happy to be able to, receive this brand in Nebraska. Being the 42nd most populated state, it's not easy to bring these new-to-market retailers in, but we had a vision here, and they loved our vision with FinTech and how we go and acquire customers for them. But this store is beautiful. Yeti was formed in 2006, two brothers that are from Driftwood, Texas. They're outdoorsmen. Their father was a professor and an entrepreneur, and they just were super frustrated with just having to buy a new cooler every single season. They were fishermen, they were out in the woods, they were hunters, etc. And so their call to action was, we're going to create a cooler that will withstand anything that you can do on your next adventure. And so, of course, they started with coolers, but they've expanded into so many different types of merchandise. Obviously, everybody's familiar with their Ramblers and, all of their containers, etc. But they have soft coolers, they have apparel. You can customize a cooler. So you can't do that online. You can come into the store and get things to customize your cooler to make it like Nebraska. So there's really cool things here, and we have an outdoor space with a fireplace and just really an entertainment area. It's just going to appeal to so many people.
And as part of the opening celebration, we have Alonzo Lamb and Dwayne Foster, owners of Barbecue Brothers Food Truck and Mobile Barbecue, going to be out here today providing barbecue for those customers that want to get to bite to eat after they're looking through the Yeti store. But this place is gorgeous, and everyone's going to love it. You want to get out here today. This is grand opening weekend at Nebraska's only Yeti store. It's on the eastern side of Nebraska Crossing, just catty corner to the brand new REI Co-op. We're going to take our final break of the hour, and when we come back, we've got several things on the list of stuff for you. And then we're also going to have Rod and Johanna tell us about other retailers in addition to Yeti that are coming to Nebraska Crossing. So don't miss any of this. You're listening to Jeff and Trenton on Grow Omaha. We're joined by Mayor Mike Evans of Gretna, Rod Yates and Johanna Boston of Nebraska Crossing, and we'll be back right after this. We're brought to you by Dingman's Collision Center and D&M Roofing and Siding on News Radio 1110 KFAB. And welcome back to the show. Jeff Beals and Trenton Magid sitting inside the brand new Yeti store at Nebraska Crossing. We're live on location today. Grow Omaha is brought to you by Dingman's Collision Center and D&M Roofing and Siding. And this is the Turner Construction Lightning Round, in which we talk about a lot of things in a very short period of time. Hey, thanks to Turner for doing this and making this possible. Turner Construction does all sorts of projects, big, medium, small, and everything in between. I was just talking with Patrick Sokol, who is Turner's Nebraska lead, just earlier this week, and we were talking about all the amazing things that they have going on in Sarpy County. And a lot of people who work in construction really enjoy working for Turner. And there's an old saying that says, if employees love a company, they give great service. And that's the case with Turner Construction. Thanks for making this lightning round possible. Okay, a couple quick things before we divulge some new retailers coming to Nebraska Crossing. A locally owned state-of-the-art youth basketball program has officially opened in Omaha. It's AEF Academy, which stands for Attitude, Effort, and Focus. The organization is breaking ground this week on a 14,000 square foot facility at 99th and Portal Road in La Vista. Burger Detour, a new locally owned burger joint, has gone vertical with construction at 183rd and Maple. They have a second one planned for 204th and Pacific. The Hy-Vee store in Gretna, we've got the mayor of Gretna, Mike Evans, with us right here. World Herald reported this week that they will open this summer.
192nd and 370.
Did I say something else?
No, you didn't say the address.
Oh, okay. 192nd and 370. Thank you, Trenton. And we also found out that just outside that Hy-Vee will be a Culver's and a Rocket Car Wash. And speaking of Culver's, we understand they plan to build another location in addition to this new Gretna one by the Aldi near 171st and West Maple Road. Cake Expressions has leased 1,400 square feet, 35th and Sampson Way in Bellevue. And we've got the Sips on 10th, new champagne wine place with food in a former Joe Bananas building that Trenton sold. Banana Joe's. You sold that a while back.
Called it the Banjo Building, Banana Joe's.
Banjo. Anyway, Sips on 10th getting a lot of good reviews. So, all right, we've got Johanna Boston and Rod Yates from Nebraska Crossing are with us here. Guys, let's spill the beans. in addition to this brand new Yeti store, what other brands are coming here?
It's been a busy first kind of 70 days of the new year. We've done a ton of tours. We've had a lot of retail in town. Brick and mortar, I'm going to say it, is the future of retail. People are opening stores all across the country. So in addition, I think on last week or 2 weeks ago, we announced BG's was going to remake themselves out here in Gretna in the old local space. Frank's Pizzeria is coming out. They're both under construction now. And as we all know, Rocky Mountain Chocolate and Cold Stone Creamery are now open in the center. So it's great getting some new food out here. In addition to Drew, I think let out of the bag, we're going to build a walk-on sports bistro out here at Nebraska Crossing. It'll be a 6,500 square foot restaurant, full dinner menu, full lunch menu, does a brunch menu. That's going to be a phenomenal
Cajun flair.
Yes, it's going to be phenomenal. People are going to love his menu if you want to check it out online. But also Athleta is under construction now. They've got in for a building permit with the city of Gretna, working with Mayor Evans and his team. So they'll be open this summer. I think Athleta is a big win for us. We've wanted them in the center forever. And then kind of interesting, Nike came to us and started talking about a new concept that they're scaling around the country called Nike Live. Yep. And it's really their competition with Lululemon, where they're doing a lot of different kind of products that compete in that athleisure space. And you always wonder, how did Lulu get so much traction with a company like Nike out there? And as you know, Nike's a global brand. They get distracted from time to time, and a competitor came in and took a lot of market share. So I was really, really pleased to see Nike get into this space big time. And we've got just the space for them to open up here in Nebraska Crossing. So a lot of great stuff going on. We had Lego tour this week. They're looking to do a store in Nebraska. That'd be a great win for us to have them in the community, and we hope to have them in Nebraska Crossing as well. So unique stuff. Our big focus at Nebraska Crossing is new to market. We want all the new to market stuff to build here, connect Omaha and Lincoln trade area with one brand.
Okay, Mayor Mike Evans, before we wrap up here, how do you sleep at night with all this exciting stuff going on in your town?
Well, it's easy to sleep at night when you have so much exciting things going on. And, one thing I make sure I don't fail to mention is, Ron and Johanna do so much. I mean, they drive so much energy and passion, not only for this project, but for the state and the community. And people forget he's a Nebraskan. And so it's not some out-of-state developer doing this to, make a lot of money and, take it somewhere else. He cares a great deal about our state and about our city, and so that's fantastic. We're just so fortunate to have him here.
Well, I would agree, and I got to tell you, folks, if you are in the mood to do a little bit of shopping this week, put Yeti on your list. Right now, we're sitting in the store. There's this huge garage door that on nice weather days is going to be opened. It goes out to a patio. Right now, we're looking at the fire pit. There's a big screen there. I'm looking inside the store, and I'm seeing all sorts of merchandise, not only coolers, but as Johanna said earlier, we've got shirts, we've got hats, and the music is playing, which means we are done. Rod Yates, thanks for having us out here today.
Yeah, and thank you, Mayor, for those kind comments. We love working with the city. This place does not happen without the city of Gretna. Let's make sure that. But I was wondering if Johanna wanted to do some promotion, like first 100 people in the store get a free backpack. You want to do something like that live on the radio, Johanna?
Come on down. We're giving away
I'm here.
a Land Rover as well. So
there you go, and we're done. We're out of here. If you like this video, be sure to hit those like and subscribe buttons. And remember, Grow Omaha is not just media. This is a mission. We are trying to build up Omaha and make it an even better place. We can only do that with your help. Share this video with your friends, neighbors, and family.